Yeah, both teams got changes at head coach. Stingrays coached by Adzi, who's a former player of theirs. She's taken over the reins there, and Amanda Ewers has taken over the head coaching role at the Thunder as well. So, had a chance to speak to both of them, but they're really giving nothing away this early in the season.
Don't they know we're here to help? But it's a bigger gig for maybe one of these two coaches. Amanda Ewers taking the HC reins off Kel Housen, who is still around. He is listed as defensive coordinator and lending his aid where possible. But Amanda is still actually going to be a coach player. She is. Last week we actually saw her play not only the role of head coach, but quarterback and middle linebacker. This week we're told she will be reserving it straight to quarterback. We'll have the defensive commitments taken off her. As for Adzi, though, she has a pretty good situation. She's been an assistant coach for the last couple of years, now makes to make that chance purely as a head coach here in probably year 5 of her involvement in coaching.
Yeah, Adji's pretty fortunate. She does have a very good support network around her, and she has some very experienced players on that team. So, you know, they've had Amy return on the defense, which is helping them there. And also, of course, she's got Lauren Evans at quarterback, who's been around since probably forever, helping with the offense as well.
It looks like the Stingrays will be kicking off, I believe. So Thunder will be running onto the field first. And let's talk about their offense. About the lady we just were talking about, Amanda Ewers, was a starting quarterback last week. It appears that will be the case again this week. Obviously, they have the position to be able to rotate quarterbacks if they wish, with our other Australian quarterback, Casey Cubis, in the 14. But obviously is just as capable at wide receiver. So they've always got plenty of options. This time they're rolling with Ewers, and I imagine that's going to be the plan for the time being.
Yeah, I'd imagine they would, because Cubis gives them a lot of options at wide receiver, you know, being 6'1", 6'2", quite rangy, but also quite fast as well. So she gives them plenty of options down the field, but across the middle. So, you know, unless they've got some gimmick packages or unless there's something up with Ewers, I can't imagine that we'll see anyone else in at QB today.
Well, the Thunder are actually losing a lot of their players from a season ago, but let's quickly talk about the players coming back. At number 5 and also back deep to return is Hayley Peterson. A welcome return to the Thunder. She might even get this ball first. Nope, she'll block. It's going to be in the hands of new face number 42 and Marty Toa. Here she goes on a great return to start them off just shy of their own, just shy of the 50, I should say. And Thunder and Amanda Ewers' offense will come onto the field.
Yeah, good return we had there, and also excellent field position that they're going to start with now. As I mentioned before, we've got Amy Henry back for the Stingrays. Not only is she a dominant defensive line force, but also a very vocal leader of that defense.
Absolutely. She was, you know, one of the heart and soul members for that team before taking a year or so off. A representative player, played for Queensland and easily could have played in situations above her. She's currently at outside linebacker. Ewers will pass on the first play of the game. It's to Cubis, and Cubis has it in both hands, but drops it cold. That will bring up a second down.
Yeah, I think we almost predicted that was going to happen. So, yeah, Cubis had a step there. Was open. Like, ball wasn't great placement, actually. Amanda's done a great job there. So coming out with that spread offense, the 2x2, I wouldn't be surprised if they see them go back to the well here on that same play. Especially
Ewers assessing the defense there. I think she sees a matchup she likes there. The experienced Cubis against number 36, a new player, Mara O'Connor. But this time they'll hand the ball off. Is that Floridus in 87? Number 87, indeed, Yana Floridus, changing numbers, word 9, or number 95, the rookie from a year ago. Was recently also featured on the ladies' Women of Gridiron feature that's going around. You know, that Stacey Spear and Amanda Ewers have been rocking between Gridiron New South Wales and Gridiron Queensland lately. Talked about her adventure into Gridiron and how it certainly captured her heart. I'm sure that's the case for many ladies we will hear soon. Third down, first third down conversion of the game. Ewers at quarterback. We've got 3rd and 9. They'll go speed option left, pitch it immediately to Floridus. Floridus has got some work to do. It can't beat the tackle there from the Stingrays. Taking her down is the number 19. That's our girl Serena Martin, back for a second stint in the game.
Some good contained defense there with a 2x2 offense like that. They're spreading the defense out. They want to try and give themselves some space. Stingrays recognised the pitch play there very quickly and flowed very well to the sideline to keep it pinned in. So that was a great play by the Rays.
4th and 10, though. They are middle of the field, and in GQ language, that's goable territory. It looks like that could be the case, though. Ewers is there as a personal protector, so they will punt this away. It's Floridus. It's the same backfield for their special teams unit. It's a half-decent punt. It's going to pin the Gold Coast inside their own 20, down by Ewers, and Gold Coast offense, they'll take over around their own 15.
We've got a flag back here, Kenny. I'm not sure what this is on. Maybe a holding penalty?
It will be the first penalty of the game, if that is the case. Richard Prater in his 25th year is our white hat referee for this game. Quarter century, congratulations, Richard.
Been around a long time. Backing up, looks like this one's going to be kicked again. Smart move by the Rays. I'd be letting it, make him kick it again, and
especially after a kick like that.
Position. Oh, wow.
Oh, making contact with a snapper. Now, we didn't get a number on that penalty, but I'd hope that's one of the more newer players there, because that's a rookie mistake.
That is. Well, you get told before the snap, you know, how long you've got till you actually hit the centre or hit the snapper. So, yeah, a little bit of a brain fade there, which really hurts the Rays, not only to take possession away from them, but now Thunder have got first down in good field position.
Hazarding a guess, it might have been Hinamoa Barbarich, who is in her second year but had a tremendous first year at defensive tackle for the Rays. That will gift them the first down, the Thunder that is. And here goes Floridus, looking like she's starting her running back, still going. Eventually, Serena Martin's going to take her down with the help over the top by number 36, Mara O'Connor.
Again, we're seeing that spread offense, trying to get the defense spread out and trying to create run lanes and cutback opportunities there. But credit to the Stingrays, particularly the secondary players who are out there, or the walked-out linebackers who are getting off those blocks very quickly and keeping the running back pinned in. So very, very well disciplined.
Again, proved to be not afraid to run towards the direction of Amy Henry, who was on the outside linebacker position. This time she's out towards the right. She'll match up there with Taylor Valach. Pass by looking for the end zone to Cubis. Too far even for Cubis.
Again, the idea is right there. You're getting her in isolation. You know, it's good ball, good idea. Again, we're seeing the same front there. I like the 2x2 in particular because it is dragging Amy Henry out of the box and forcing her to go out into coverage, which, you know, takes away the pass rush a little bit there. I mean, she can rush from there, but it's a lot trickier for her, but also gives Amanda more time to identify that if it is coming.
Yes, it does. It really stretches them out. This time, giving Floridus to her right. Ewers in the backfield in the gun. Roberts at the slot. She's going to have to throw. She's hit as a throw, and it leads to an interception. Taken away by the Stingrays. Still going is the defensive back, and I think that again was Mara O'Connor, the rookie, making a play.
Great awareness there. Obviously, Amanda's hit as she's thrown, so the ball has ballooned a bit. Good awareness by the defensive back to break off the coverage there, get her eyes into the backfield, and yeah, get the interception. That's
going to be a confidence boost for any rookie in their second game, picking off not only a quarterback but an experienced quarterback there, but some great pass rush to thank for that.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I don't know if the Rays have got a turnover chain on the sideline over there, but that'll certainly get the team some confidence going into the next drive.
Isn't that fascinating? All the different colleges and what little gimmicks they've got going on the sideline to create a bit of character amongst the team. More on that in the next time out. Here we go. Another taste of offense here, and it's Amy Henry at running back, and I should say the first taste of offense. A penalty extending the drive for the Thunder on their first possession. That was Lauren Evans' first play with her offense.
Yeah, I think the Thunder will take a lot away from that first drive, though. You know, they moved the ball quite well. Yes, they had the penalty that obviously extended the drive, but there were some good things there, I think, in terms of if you're testing out what you're seeing from the defense, what the Stingrays defense is likely to do today. I think you come away from that with some with plenty of options and adjustments you can make from there.
That deep ball to Cubis, I'm sure that's been filed away. In the meantime, 2x2 spread formation. Looking to the right is Evans. Evans hits her favourite target in Hodgson. Riley Hodgson, one of the more dangerous receivers in Australia. Might have picked her team up a first down on second and long.
Yeah, I spoke to Adzi before the game about Riley's move to slot receiver. I think it's a brilliant move given the skill set she has in terms of her elusiveness and speed. I asked Adzi, what the motivation behind that was, and she said that it was actually Riley's idea herself to give herself some more room once she gets the ball in hand. So it'd be interesting to see how many times Lauren goes to that well.
Well, 3rd and short, just short of a first down. We've got 3rd and short scores, still 0-0. The first possession of the game for the Gold Coast Stingrays. This is their first 3rd down conversion attempt. They'll hand it to Henry. Henry will truck forward. It'll be just enough, I would imagine, from our spot. Yep, signalled for a first down. And that's the first chain move, and I think we're going to see a timeout taken by the defense. So getting water onto the field, and as we take that timeout, we talk about a little more about Hodgson. Has done it all, has been selected at the national level. Unfortunately, injuries did derail her campaign when she got selected for Australia. Has represented Queensland for a number of time. The national championship game, just from the most recent women's tournament, comes to mind, where she scored about 3 touchdowns on a various amount of routes. A very talented route runner, and as you said, I think on a team that has really competent outsides, to be able to move her to the inside at slot is an absolute, it's a good move.
Oh, it's brilliant. And also, obviously, they've got Amy Henry back now, who's obviously playing some reps at running back as well. It just gives Lauren so many weapons there. And, there is some talk that Lauren may be carrying a little bit of a lower leg issue today. So don't know how much we'll see her carry the ball herself. But with the weapons she's got around her, she probably really doesn't need to risk that too much. Yeah,
or while she is a capable runner and actually likes running the ball, they do call a lot of plays, quarterback running plays by design. It's not absolutely a necessity to her game. She can carry this team with her arm. We talk about some of the other outside options. Cody Fuller's another one who likes to work on the outside. She's your near side wide receiver, back from Seattle, back here on the Gold Coast. Amy Henry with another carry on first down. Breaks a tackle easily and eventually is taken down by number 9, Liz Patu. We were wondering if she would kit up today. There she is making a tackle.
I reckon I've heard probably 4 or 5 times this week whether Liz was actually playing or not. There was, yes, she is, no, she's not, yes, she is, no, she's not. But she's definitely an impact player, so that's why there's so many questions asked about whether she's there or not, because it certainly does impact the defense, also the offense's game plan.
Go as far as saying she is going to be considered one of the biggest, if not the biggest physical force on both of these sides there, has the ability to change the game offensively or defensively.
Well, we saw that in the semi-final last year between these two teams. She took over in that second half.
Well, right now, she is standing in a middle linebacker, Meadow Luano, another respected linebacker, out to her right. A lot of distance here, and they'll give it to Amy Henry this time to the pitch out to the right. Patu's right there to shut that play down for a no gain.
Yeah, good contain there by the Thunder. I was talking to Adzi before the game about whether the Liz factor, whether Patu would play or whatever else, and Adzi said, look, all week they've been preparing for the fact she would be here, because she's one of those sort of players where both offense and defensively you have to prepare for her to be here. And if she wasn't playing because of other sporting commitments, hey, you know what? That's an easy adjustment to make, but it's an easier adjustment to make than her turn up and not be ready.
Exactly right. The second 3rd down conversion, they converted on their first attempt just a few plays ago. We've got 3rd and 6. Evans looking over the middle for Fuller. Fuller, I think, expected her to shorten up that route and didn't quite make it to that ball. That will bring up a 4th down, and that's Cody Fuller on screen, as I mentioned earlier, returning from her stint with the Seattle Majestics over in the WNFC. Had a good run over there, averaged over 10 yards per reception, picked up a couple of touchdowns over her season as well. No doubt, catching one on the slant, one she does so frequently for Lauren Evans. Last year, caught 6 of them. And we're just hearing Kellhausen reiterate, don't hit the kicker. They don't want to give up a penalty themselves. And this will be an awkward one that won't be touched by anyone, though I'll tell you what, there were a lot of close Thunder defenders there that could have really changed that field position.
The former coach in me watches those players too close to that ball going, oh no.
I'm just seeing you resist saying poison, mate. I can see your lips puckering.
That's one of those things you're like, yeah, I'm pretty certain Coach Ewers / Hausen are going to have words about that. We'd probably stay away from that one.
Special team, so fascinating at the start of the season. A lot of mistakes can be made. It's so easy to be made, especially when you've got a bunch of young new players looking to make their impact on the game and possibly not quite understanding some of the intricate rules that go on in special teams. This is Ewers back again, hands it off to Floridis, making some tough yards over the middle. She might only pick up 1 there, but geez, it was a tough one.
Interesting they're sticking to the run here. Clearly have a lot of faith in their offensive line and what they're going to do. They like the matchup there. It's good to see because often you'll see teams early when the run game may not be doing what they want it to do. But if you've got faith in the system, you can just stick with it because you know it's going to wear down the defense as the day goes on.
Florida's seemingly the trusted starter right now. Actually played more wide receiver last year and defensive back. Ewer stands in the pocket trying to deliver to Vlach. Amy Henry comes up and shows that she can play ball in the air too.
Dangerous throwing the ball Amy's way, like she is deceptively fast. Gets away with the bat down there. I suggest you go to the well again on that one, and that is going the other way for 6.
Well, she's got such long limbs, when she gets the ball in open space, she covers a lot of ground in the first 3 steps. She's got those long limbs taking away a lot of passing lanes.
Oh, exactly. She's very experienced, so she'll bait quarterbacks into throwing that ball and then jump the route.
Did just take a year off because of injury. Unfortunately, I think it was a knee injury that took her out for last year. She stayed around coaching, though. Ewer's on the speed option, out to Floridis. Floridis moves the ball to the outside arm, and Mara O'Connor racking up a busy day for the young rookie.
Yeah, it's her 3rd or 4th tackle now. She seems to be flowing very well, doing sideline to sideline in terms of containing that run game. So, the Rays have certainly found someone there.
Yes, they have, and I swear the Rays just seem to find DBs in almost every division. Every year there's a new DB that rocks up and learns how to fill the job. In any case, that was 3rd down in the play before. I forgot to mention 4th down now, back to return is Riley Hodgkinson. They'd want to be careful. They're going to punt to her and they're going to give her some space. Riley, she on the one hop, picks it up, keeps her knees off the ground, a block ahead of her, and that's great coverage there. I think that was that Roberts.
We've got a couple of different flags in the play here, so I think this one's coming back. I think we've got, we're at number 90 for the Rays there, who may have jumped, and we may even have a roughing the kicker or something similar, because there was a flag in the backfield there thrown very late as Riley was returning. So it'll be interesting to see what the call is here. If it's only the offside they've got here, it'll make it, what, 4th and 1.
Yeah, which you'd still think logic would dictate that is still a punting situation given the field position. Ball is currently, pre-penalty, placed at the 20.
So the O-line coach tells you to no, back to the O-line and run it down their throats.
Mate, I was a fullback, but I was also a defensive tackle, so I'm mixed.
I think you'll probably struggle to find any former head coaches I've worked with who would actually agree with me on that play call like that.
The chart says no.
Oh, definitely.
Unless that chart belongs to Adam Bolton.
Adam Lee. Oh, wow. It's another drive extending.
On special teams, and once again, this last time the Thundericks were the beneficiary of a special teams penalty on 4th down. This time they are the giver of it. Oh no, check that other part around. Sorry, repeat that. Gold Coast Stingrays twice now on 4th down have given up penalties that have extended the drive. My apologies. 3 receivers out to the right. Vlach at tight end, but it'll be give to Patu. Floridis is taking a breather on the sideline. Good stiff arm, but the troops are there. The Thunder sidelines going on about a potential face mask.
No comment. Yeah, but look, again, a good contain there. I think, when you see Amy Henry coming off the edge like that from the back, even though it was going backside of the play, just because of the fact that there's only a 3-person line, as the quarterback, you've got to worry about what's coming next.
I just witnessed one of the funniest rookie moments there in front of us there. We'll explain that next break. We have 2nd and 10. Score still 0-0. Few minutes into the first quarter. Speed option right, but Patu's going to get it early. She'll meet Amy Henry and fends off Amy Henry. Not an easy task to do, but still great flow by the Thunder. They keep that to a minimal gain. This will bring up another 3rd and long.
And something for those who probably may not watch a lot of the sport is with this sort of thing, you look at it and go, well, the Thunder are running the ball a lot, but not getting huge yards out of it, is when you've got someone like Patu running the ball downhill like that and taking hits and laying the lumber like that, and O-lineman getting downfield to help out. Defenses can only hold that in for so long. Well,
speaking about running the ball, all that running the ball led to us getting to the end of the first quarter now. So that's the completion of 1 quarter of the game. Kenny Andres, Adam Bolton here for you on GQ TV, brought to you by live streaming Brisbane. Paul Mills on the camera and the keys for us today. Still a 0-0 entering the second quarter, but in possession are the Thunder, but they'll be facing a 3rd and long now. You talked about Patu there, getting the runs. You've got an athlete. You mentioned the words north-south. Is that perhaps something they should look to there? The couple times they've used her now, it's been on speed options out wide. Should we look at trying to get such a strong athlete running north-south?
Look, I think you do. I think it comes down to, though, with from a scheme perspective, what you've got in terms of offensive line and what their blocking situation's like. You know, the Stingrays do have a very solid and very physical interior line there. So, you know, maybe there's some respect being played there, and they're playing the percentages of, you know what, we've got some great athletes here. We can get them out wide and spread out and give them some cutback lanes. As the defence gets tired and slow down, those half a steps they slow down become bigger holes for the runners to hit. And the only way you can get those is continuing to stick to the process.
3rd and long, first play of the second quarter. 0-0 the scores. On 3rd and long, back deep is Tiafi Thurston, watching the middle of the field. Ewers is going to bomb long, got Cubis one-on-one. She's got Cubis. They went to that pass earlier in the red zone. This time it gets him out of trouble in 3rd and long. The ball all the way down to the Gold Coast, 31.
Same players they opened the first quarter with, or their first drive. So started the second quarter, only fitting. Well, let's test that out again. So what we talked about before in terms of Cubis using her height and her range there to, you know, simply box out the defender, take the catch, and get some extra yards after the catch too.
Cubis doesn't even have to jump for these passes. She's genuinely, I think she is amongst the tall. She's certainly amongst the tallest, but the question is whether she takes the gong for the tallest. Ewers throws over the middle for Cubis again. There's the catching radius again on display. Might be another first down. Just short, 2nd and 1.
That's it. 2nd and 1 gives you plenty of options, though. As the
my favourite down and distance. Favorite down
everything's on the table with this one.
Literally everything. Fake plays, play action. Go long, go short.
Do you run a cheeky reverse? Do you know, run a play action? Do you just take a shot at the end zone here? That's what I'd do. But
now we've got the 2 representative plays here. Riley Hodgson, Casey Cubis. Hodgson well inside of Cubis. They'll go backside though. Making a catch there is the 37, and that's enough to move the chains after the catch there to a lady not on our chart. I thought we'd covered everyone. Hang on, I'm just going to do something a little unprofessional here and ask one of the moments. And when I get a moment, we'll check on that in a second. First down and 10. Deep drop from Ewers. Ewers loads up, throws for an open receiver. It was Taylor Villat. She had it in the end zone. Admittedly, the sun possibly in her eyes in that corner.
100%.
And she can't bring it in.
They seem to like that deep ball.
That they do. They've got the receivers for it, though.
Well, I mean, even when you look at the spread out, they're very, very tall. So even that matchup that we talked about earlier with Cubis and Hodgson, you know, Cubis has got a massive height advantage there. So same thing. It said with that range, you can just throw the ball up there, and you know you like that matchup.
2nd down and 10. Scores a 0-all. Ball just outside the 10, looking about the Gold Coast 15. Thunder knocking on the door of the first points. Ewers will keep it herself. Now she'll pitch. Patu looking to beat some outside defenders. Won't quite do that, but we'll pick up a solid batch of yardage there. Looking around a 6-yard gain on that carry.
Really good speed option there from Ewers. Like, she was smart to hold on that ball just that little bit longer, draw the defender in to make the hit, then dumped it off to Patu, who then punished the defence to get the extra yards afterwards. Again, they're the sort of things, though, that as the game goes on and players are getting tired, the gaps get bigger.
Exactly right. 3rd down now. Had their last 3rd down conversion, well, really their drive extended. It was a failed 3rd down conversion, but their last 3rd down conversion was a long pass to Cubis. 4 wide, and they're going to look over the middle to 2 of their tall receivers. Over the head, though, the intended receiver, Roberts. A late flag coming in back from the white cap, and that sounds like it might be a little bit of misbehaviour.
I think it might be roughing the passer or something like that. I didn't see what it was. I was more looking downfield. Brave throwing that pass across the middle at Tiafi, though, at Thurston. She's been around a long time, very, very experienced free safety. I had a chat to her before the game. Because of the depth the Stingrays have at receiver this year, she doesn't have to go both ways.
She's grateful for that, I bet.
Oh, she's very grateful for that. I mean, she can focus on playing safety and she can keep herself fresh for defence.
And she has certainly got a heart for position. Roughing out the quarterback, I believe, was the penalty I heard called. Mandy Porter, another 2nd-year player, her and her sister, Anna Moore.
So it really hurts you here because not only do you get a first down, but also half the distance of the goal. you know, the offense now has got 4 shots at 4 yards.
Exactly right, and they're chugging along nicely. Ewers will try to get over the top for Latch. She doesn't drop this one. Picking up the first touchdown of the day there is number 10 in our girl Taylor Valach, catching Amanda Ewers' pass over the middle there. 6-0 Thunder first on the board.
Nice pass play there, because you know, first and goal at about the 4. You know, Patu's been getting plenty of the ball. She's obviously a very physical presence down there. So, you know, Stingrays load the box. So, okay, let's get the quick pass over the top like she did. Yeah, result shows.
Just looking at the height of all these receivers, with the exception of Mystery 37, they're all above 5'10", trying to wedge it past there, and we have some friendly fire. I think that was Mara O'Connor running into Tiafi Thurston over the middle.
She's had a great first half of the game so far, so it'll be disappointing for the Stingrays if they lose her at this point. She's probably been one of their better players.
She's certainly been tested early in the game. And it looks like we're going to see our first little injury timeout of the day. And we are conscious there. She hasn't quite moved yet from her position, Mara O'Connor. And I'm guessing, actually, there might be a number change, number 37 for us. It'll be Sunshine Lawrenson, was 36 on our roster, but clearly wearing number 37.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, back to what you talked about before, Kenny, in terms of the height of the Thunder receivers. You know, you don't see that sort of height comparatively at any level. So,
exactly
you
right.
know, for the Thunder to have that, you know, it gives Amanda so many options of what she can do out there.
It makes me think, and I only bring this up because A, I love any opportunity to bring my Chargers into the call, and B, as a Raiders supporter, you would have actually had to witness this. But do you remember, like, some of the San Diego Chargers teams of, it might have been 2010, 2011, where they had like Malcolm, you had VJax,
yep.
You had M80 across there, and then you had pretty much every receiver above 6'3". And Phillip Rivers just dropping deep bombs.
You didn't do it against the Raiders because LT had all the did all the damage there. If you had back then, if you had LT in your fantasy team, he was always good for 250 and 3 touchdowns against the Raiders.
Yes, he did. And a big shout out to anyone who are having their fantasy draft this weekend. A very popular one for fantasy drafts, the final weekend before the NFL season kicks off. I know I have mine tomorrow, very conveniently on Father's Day.
Josh Jacobs from the Raiders, I'd recommend picking up.
In the 17th round. Joking, he's a great pickup. But yeah, back to the news at hand. But I was just saying, yeah, it's just comparatively, you know, you're right. You don't see it very often in teams to have this many vertically blessed receivers.
Yeah, and from as an offensive coach's point of view, granted, play calling is not something I do a huge amount of, but it gives you so many options in terms of, you know, if you've got that many tall receivers that you can spread out the defense, it gives you plenty of room to run the ball if you want to, but then in terms of the passing game, it gives you plenty of options because it's just so hard to match up against that sort of height.
And on top of that, you know, as a quarterback, not that you'll ever encourage this, but it gives you a lot more room for error. If you're ever worried, you can throw high knowing that worst case scenario, it should be an incompletion.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a fair point you make, though. I mean, at this level, where you know, we're not seeing people play, you know, with the accuracy of Baker Mayfield, for example. So it does sort of help in that area as well. It
certainly does. Good news is Tamara O'Connor seems like she's walking off under her own power there. Also with the help of Tiafi Thurston carrying helmet, the least she could do after knocking her teammate out.
That's only fair. It's usually the other way around. It's usually the rookies carrying the helmets.
So it looks like she'll be okay, but we'll try to get injury report on that at halftime. In any case, that was the first score of the game. The Thunder scoring via Taylor Valach for Ewers' pass, bringing up 6 points, failed 2-point conversion though, giving us the score of 6-0 halfway through the second quarter.
I think so far the game's really given us what we expected. You know, it's been very physical. You know, played mostly around the middle of the field here, and with the exception of that drive again that was extended by a penalty. You know, it's been fairly even.
Also hasn't been too bad as far as penalties. Like,
no,
the penalties have been just horrible decisions. I suppose not any sort of technical flaws from any of the players. So that's good to see. Only 2 games into the season.
Oh, absolutely. At this stage of the year, you're normally expecting a heap of the guys
holdings,
in the stripes to be featuring. Yeah.
PIs as Floridas kicks us back into action, but she kicks it to Riley Hodgson. She patiently waits for blocks, finds one, circles out to the left-hand side of the field, beats a couple for speed, and will be run out of bounds just shy of halfway. This will be fantastic field position for the Columbia Blue.
Yeah, really good return there by Riley. Good patience behind her blocks, and then shows the sort of speed she can get around the corner there and get up the sideline. So, you know, certainly not someone you want to be kicking to every down. You know, you keep kicking to her like that, she's going to make you pay with a house call at some point.
Well, last year scored 4 of them, so not at all unfamiliar to taking them back. Looks like staying at running back is Amy Henry. Now this time she'll be used to pass protect as they try to get it to Hodgson. Pass sails on number 7 there in Evans.
Lauren. Yeah, look, and you can see what they're trying to do there in terms of, you know, you had Riley in the slot there, running that quick out, trying to get the ball into her hands quickly, get her into open space and let her use her speed to make things happen.
Not only, she is probably quicker than fast Riley, but that's not saying a lot. She can certainly burn a lot of defenses. But agile is cinching a ball in hands. They're trying to get it to her quickly. They're going to try the exact same play, and they unfortunately get the exact same result.
If you haven't looked there, it's all talking about height with receivers.
Quite a contrast, isn't there?
Yeah, but then look at you know, the outside receiver there, Renee Scanlon. You know, she's like, what? She's probably 6'2", 6'3". I mean, Lauren's 6 foot tall and she's taller than her. So you know that the slow slant that she ran across the middle there, or the delayed slant. You know, they can certainly go to the well there later in the game.
Scanlon, I believe, one of the new faces to the Gold Coast this year. Starting at outside receiver. Evans this time goes to her other favourite target, and Cody Fuller picks up that slant she runs so frequently.
Runs that route so well. I mean, obviously, very polished receiver. That's why she went and, you know, had the opportunity to go and play over in Seattle. But yeah, getting her back's been a massive boost to this offense. That
was on 3rd down, though, however, 3rd and long. They tried to get this slant. It gets them within range, though, 4th and inches, and they're going to go for it.
Stack the O-line and QB sneak.
O-line through and through.
They measure here?
Yeah, they'll be close. I don't think they're going to call an official chain measure. I think they're just checking off between line judge. And they're going to give it. All right, there you go. So, scrub the 4th down conversion, and I'll be interested to see if they call the same play, because if you could be calling very different plays for 4th and short and 1st and 10.
Oh, absolutely. I like this combination out on this side with these 2 receivers, like with Hodgson and Scanlon. You know, this.
As we see, that combination have to run block on this play, and Henry can't find anything. Ooh. It's Lauren Newell coming up with a big stop in the middle.
That is very stout in the middle there. That's really going to be very difficult to get much happening up in the middle there, which makes it hard as well, because then that takes away some of the play action stuff. If you don't, if you're not threatening to run through the middle there, then teams aren't going to be flowing downhill or biting on play action as much if the D-line don't need as much help.
That's exactly right, and you need those players, as you said, to be successful, because it's a little hard to consistently run play action, if you will, or fake passes off speed options. Bit more movement involved. It's pitch right. Henry's got plenty of space, blocking great from Hodgson.
Wow, that's incredible blocking.
Turns it upfield and has heavy contact again. Liz Batu making a conscious effort to get to Henry, and Henry's down now. And that'll be another injury timeout. Henry looks like she's in a bit of pain.
That was a big hit.
Now it's interesting. Henry obviously off last year with injury, and I think the year before that took also a break there. So that's really when Patu's come to prominence in this league. I don't think these guys have probably actually played each other since Liz Patu was playing for the Panthers of many years ago.
Wow, your memory's better than me on that one.
That's why they keep me around.
She's getting up under her own strength, which is always a good sign. So
which is one of the toughest around. So if she stays down, you know she's hurt.
Oh yeah. So look, you know, they'll go and get her checked out, and obviously they'll probably do the whole concussion protocol and make sure that's okay. But I'm sure we'll see her back. She probably wants to go straight back to the huddle now.
I think honestly, it might look like she just got winded there.
Yeah. No, so 30% she got to check out, doesn't she, for a play?
Yeah, she does, because she the referees deemed it an injury timeout. Looks like she could do with a playoff. That
was incredible blocking on that last play by Riley Hodgson. Like, really did make the difference on that play there from what, was decent contained by the defence, but Riley had great body position, kept working hard, and gave the extra lane for Amy to get a few more yards.
That'd be right. 3rd and short, 6-0, Thunder leading. But chasing them intently right now are the Gold Coast Stingrays approaching the Thunder red zone. Ball is on the 28. It was an awkward snap, but it was handed nicely. Now it's Kelsey Jensen getting her first carry of the day. The Canadian running back in her 2nd year with the Rays. Can't make much happen there, though, on 3rd down. That'll bring up 4th, but no field goals here, although if there's a team that's going to kick field goals, it's probably the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Well, they've got a couple of people who are capable of kicking. Like Riley can kick. I think Cody Fuller can kick as
Cody
well.
was their regular field goal kicker last year. Actually, I believe possibly landed a record last year with a kick gain. I think she attempted it from 25 odd.
Okay.
Over at Mitchelton.
There's not a lot of men's kickers who can do that, let's be fair.
Exactly. It is lovely to see kicking become more of a regular part of the game, and the game being dictated more by touchdowns opposed to 2 points. I think last week
situation they got here, 4th and 5.
Well,
Riley seems pretty keen to get out there, so
she
I'm going
broke
to
the huddle
pass.
very, very, very quickly. Although I have seen her do that quite a bit. So
spacing we got here to number 18 to Scanlon.
She can. The slant is on. If they want it, they caught him offside. They'll get a free play.
Take
Going
the
for the end
Take
zone
the
now.
shot.
Oh, what an almost catch there from Hodgson between 2 defenders, one of which of those the experienced Haley Peterson. But they will get the 1st down on penalty alone.
Riley's still concerned about whether there was PI on the play. It's all right. You got the free shot as it was. The good awareness. I don't know whether it was Lauren that sped up her cadence to get that, or whether it was the O-line that picked up on the jump there. But whenever you can get that, it's always handy to have the 3 yards and the free shot.
Well, honestly, as we're getting the penalty called in right now, as good as getting 5 yards, the true benefit of catching a defense's offside is that free play you possibly can get. So.
And every team's got it in their book. Hey, centres, the list everywhere that I've coached or I've seen coached everywhere is always told, hey, someone jumps, snap that ball, and the QB and the receivers just know if the ball comes before the snap count, it's going deep.
I mean, a former Ravens quarterback watching in there, and whose name escapes me, the Doc, from last year.
Stokes.
Ben Stokes was really, really good at it.
Your
man in the number 6 jersey, really good at it. And that, on 1st down, is an incomplete pass with a rollout attempt there from Lauren Evans. Speaking of which, I am very intrigued to see who will be rolling out as QB1 for the Stingrays earlier today.
Funny you bring that up, as you talk about number 6, Damien Malloy, nicknames Pick Your Teeth Up, as he's now moved to defence, which means there will be a different quarterback this year for the Stingrays men's team.
Ooh, stay tuned for more. Plenty of options in there. Obviously, one man who was wearing many hats, including quarterback, and Lance Tonga-Kilo, a possibility amongst all those. Lauren Evans, though, the quarterback right now for the Stingrays. Spread set, evenly distributed across both sides of the field. Evans looks left. The lefty throws left, and it is behind Cody Fuller. That'll bring up 3rd down.
I think there's a miscommunication there. It looked like Lauren was adjusting the play. She saw something there that she liked, and then you look at the way that ball was thrown there. It looks like, she was expecting maybe a fade route from Fuller, and Fuller ran the cross. So suggest that might have been miscommunication more so than a bad pass. Change of concepts.
Scanlon, though, yet to get a target. They're giving her a lot of space here on the right-hand sideline.
Yeah, I think that's something they'll pick up on in the second half. But it's also, that's one of those sideline discussions that you need to be having in terms of, hey, this is what's going on. But the fact she's lined up so far out there, it just makes me think there's something being built in there.
Well, it looks like it's, if nothing, is there to give Riley Hodgson plenty of space in the slot. That's the target she's looking for, but she's chased by Meadow Luano, and that's enough to disrupt this play on 3rd down. That'll bring up 4th. Great pressure there by the Thunder on 3rd down.
Yeah, you're probably right there. I don't know whether it's to give Riley more room or not, or whether it's, they're setting something up there.
As the 2-minute warning has been called, so it's been a quick first half so far.
Yeah, it's been very fast.
2 minutes remaining
Been a long drive
in this first half. It has. Well, there's a few more incomplete passes and a couple of injuries there. Same formation. Mikadagi now in the left slot. Scanlon and Hodgson still on the right side. Great pass protection there by the running back in Jensen.
Oh.
This one's intercepted, the second intercept of the day. This is Haley Peterson. She has the ability to take it the distance, but Evans won't allow that. But that's the second, well, you can't call it a red zone, but let's call it a green zone interception by the Griffith University Thunder.
Yeah, great play there by Peterson. Very dangerous play if you get her into space. So, Stingrays are probably fortunate there they were able to swarm and get to that play, because a couple of blockers that she would have been gone. She's very, very fast in open field.
Well, 2 passes around the middle of the field as they've approached the goal line there have been picked off by Evans. The Thunder, seemingly knowing where Evans likes to go, hasn't really tried to go to the outside in her 2 attempts at the goal line yet.
Which, again, you got Fuller on the outside and you got the height of Scanlon on the other side. You think potentially a fade or a corner pattern might be there.
6-0 and now back in possession, under 2 minutes remaining. It's Ewers going long, wasting no time, wanting... Oh, I thought she'd be able to pick that off the back of the defender there. The pass incomplete.
That's Connor again.
Tended to the 87. And Iana Flores has moved out to wide receiver, I think. Was that the 87?
Yeah. And coverage there by Mara O'Connor.
She's back on the field.
She's back and healthy.
Cubis, near side wide receiver. Already had a couple of long catches. Taylor Roberts, the slot inside her. That's Haley Peterson at running back. No, Lisbeth too. Good pocket. Thrown for Cubis. Probably needed to get a bit more into that. It sailed and got picked up in the wind.
Great coverage there by Hodgson, though. Being well aware of where her man was and getting into good position there to break that up.
And there's actually been some great protection by the Thunder, but still the Gold Coast Stingrays getting enough pressure there to alter the passing lanes. Maybe not being able to knock Ewers to the ground, but enough to probably not allow as much oomph into those passes as you'd like.
No, absolutely.
Another spread set. These offenses look awfully similar on paper. Patu at running back. She'll be there to pass protect as rolling out. And will she throw this? Yes, she will. Looking for Sunshine Lawrenson, but she finds instead Riley Hodgson.
Again,
picking up an
awareness there
intercept
by Riley to break off the route and adjust to the ball in the air. Obviously, as you mentioned before, Kenny, with the wind, probably holding that ball up a little bit. So that she breaks off, sets down, bang, interception.
Riley there, we saw in the replay, didn't look at it, looked at a receiver once. Otherwise had her eyes on Ewers and was ready to pick that off. Took a chance there, very Ed Reed-like. But sometimes your instincts, they'll pay off. And that time it pays off with a takeaway and an opportunity for her offense to put some points on the board before the end of this half. As you can possibly hear through our microphones, wind picking up here at Griffith University, the Nathan campus of Griffith University, home of the Thunder.
Great ground and facilities here, though.
Absolutely. Put a grandstand in, Griffith. Go on.
Commentator's booth as well.
First down and 10 for the Stingrays. Going for the slant. No, it's the out to Hodgson. Hodgson, who just had the interception, this time catches the ball for the offense. And not for a whole lot of yards, stays in bounds, clock still running.
You need to get the hurry up going here or call a timeout to do something.
Evans thinking that they probably actually picked up more from that ball, or she was remonstrating with the white referee, Richard Prater, in some way about some issue.
Need to get out of the huddle faster here. Clock will be running.
No official clock, can't give you an accurate time frame. It can't be that long though, especially with the clock running for the last 20 seconds or so. Bit of miscommunication now for the Thunder. Evans wants to capitalize. They'll pitch it out, and it'll be a fumble to Jensen, recovered there eventually by Meadow Luano. That will stop the clock, and that'll give a chance for the Thunder to bomb away and try to extend their lead heading into the half. What a turn of events over the last 6 plays.
Wow.
Just a pitch there that went wrong, went behind Jensen.
Good awareness, though, by the D-line there to fall on that ball and then get the extra body in to help make sure that, you know, the ball wasn't wrestled away by a Stingrays player.
I think the intention was shown there from the Stingrays. They were going to run that ball after taking plenty of time off the clock there. They were happy to go into this half down 6-0. An opportunity now. Cubis, their main deep threat. Let's see if she's the target here. She's matched up with Mara, but it'll be Ewers looking for the sideline. And she will jump to the sideline. Surely only seconds remaining.
Smart play getting out of bounds there.
Seeing if we can sneak a time check here from the line judge on the Thunder sideline. 15 seconds. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Second down. 15 seconds remaining. Stop. Clock stopped. Clock running again. Inside Texas, and a catch in there. The Taylor Roberts, and they're going to use. They've got 2 timeouts remaining, I believe, the Thunder, and they use one of those right now.
Yeah, good awareness there by Amanda to get that timeout called. Essentially, as the ball was in the air, I think.
Yeah, they are. Well, knowing that they had the timeouts, they chose to use the middle of the field.
I mean, smart coverage. I don't know if we saw, but the particularly Riley and some of the other Stingray secondary had rolled off a little bit there before that play. Obviously, knowing with such a small amount of time left, they've had success in the air already. Let's just try and keep them in front of us. This is what happened there. You know, you'll happily give Cubis the middle of the field there. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's going to keep the clock running when she's brought down. I
also know that they probably aren't too worried about a field goal threat here, the Stingrays. So I wouldn't be surprised to see 4 DBs with their heels at the 1 yard line. Sunshine Lawrenson and the number 36 in Mara O'Connor, far side.
It's going to be interesting.
Play will be blown dead.
That's where it comes down to also the scouting as well. I mean, it's very tough this early in the season, but, you know, even looking at player sheets and going, so who are rookies, who are not, and can we pick them out? So, hey, you know what, if O'Connor's a rookie, then, you know, hey, do we test her out?
Exactly right.
Situations, how many reps has she seen of this at practice?
I think through the first 4 weeks at least, pretty much you can't do anything too much based on what you're going to see. You can only try to go out and execute your stuff.
No, it's very true.
As we get in the call. Another penalty to the Stingrays. Stingrays definitely winning the penalty yardage, and by winning I mean having the most.
Losing, yeah.
As we see first down, not quite goal yet. Ewers has to tuck it, brings it up, looks back to the left, threads one too low, and let's see if there's any time left on the clock. And they haven't signalled the ball, or unless he's waiting for the ball now. The ball's down on the turf, so we should have at least one last play. I think 2 seconds is being signalled there, or it could actually second down, in fact.
That 5-yard penalty that was against the Rays there really does help the Thunder in this situation. You go from being on the 15 to about the 10. It opens the playbook up in this situation with little time left.
Well, it gives you a lot more routes, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly right.
Plenty more routes, especially middle of the field. Roberts targeted last time left. Under pressure as Ewers steps up nicely out of the pocket. Now will back herself, but she's taken down by Barbrich, and that should close out the half. The score.
By Ewers there.
Yes, it is Ewers' good pocket presence, but unfortunately can't beat them to the end zone. That'll finalise our halftime score. Halftime here at Nathan University, Griffith University. The Thunder, they lead the visitors 6-0. As we take a break here for halftime. Thank you for joining us. You're watching Gridiron at Queensland's Week 3 action, brought to you by Live Streaming Brisbane. Kenny Andres, Adam Bolton, back with you the other side of the break. Valach touchdown in the midway through the second quarter, and that's been the lone score for us this afternoon so far. I'm Kenny Andres here, calling the action for you, along with Adam Bolton. Mate, I'll bring you back into the action now in a general first half thoughts.
Look, we thought it was going to be a close game, and it certainly has produced that. Both teams, a bit of early season rust. Yeah, interesting to see what comes in the second half.
Let's see how we go. We saw both teams with extended huddles there. Both teams had opportunities, and penalties played a couple of key points there, particularly for the Stingrays, extending a few of the drives there on 4th down for the Thunder. The Thunder, they managed to take away 2 red zone attempts from the Stingrays, 2 intercepts to show for the 2 opportunities for the Gold Coast Stingrays inside Thunder territory. Here comes Riley Hodgson back to return. Again, waits for your blocks to set up, breaks the tackle. Will try to beat it, defender to the outside, and eventually will be corralled and pushed out of bounds around the Stingrays 42.
Excellent field position there. Certainly, I think one of the discussions is going to be in that half time for both teams is the protecting the ball in the red zone or close to. You know, we saw Amanda throw the interception for the Thunder in the first quarter, and then, you know, as you said, Lauren threw 2 as well for the Stingrays. You know, we'd be looking at we're probably looking at 14 all game if, you know, we look after the ball better there.
Both teams have been quite stout once the other teams got into their side of the field. Thunder had an opportunity to extend their lead in the dying seconds of the first half. Ewers taken down on the ground, not for a sack, but taken down infield and running that clock down out on the last play of the first half. First down and 10, 6-0. First offensive play of the second half. Evans, 2 backs in the backfield this time. They're in there to protect her as she throws over the middle for Fuller. A nice pitch and catch that'll net them 8 yards.
Yeah, good ball there. Also a good adjustment, I think, bringing in the extra back there as the extra protection. Gave Lauren plenty of time there to identify a target and get a good ball in there.
Well, they're bringing an extra pass blocker there, meaning that they've got faith on their outside players to win one-on-one. Same, it's Aroa Tulloch, actually, now that I make out the number. Making the move from the Rhinos and coming back from injury. She'll block now for Amy Henry. And another productive run from Henry moves the change. That's first down for the Stingrays. But yes, that's Aroa Tulloch. Her mother's here cheering her on. But last year playing for the Rhinos, well, signed on to them, but it was actually in her representative duties for Queensland. It was a night game over in Perth. A couple of years, actually not last year, but the year prior, I believe. ACL injury or ankle injury, actually. The compound fraction in her ankle. It was horrific to see, and it's amazing to see that she's back on the field. Great to see for women's football and for the Tulloch family.
That sort of injury can end careers.
Oh, 100%. That foot was in all sorts, but she's back now and she's looking great. Down the field goes Evans for Hodgson. She's gotten behind them and she's gotten 6.
There we go. Bring that extra, bringing Tulloch in as the second back to provide that extra pass protection. Gives Lauren that little bit more extra time there to get the ball over the top to Hodgson running in the slot there. Gets the step on the defensive backs and she's gone.
Her enough there in the first half. Really tried to push her underneath, get her some yak type of plays, some catches where she, some catches where she could make something happen afterwards. This time they changed the game plan, bring someone else to protect, and they allow her to just go downfield, and it turns into 6 points.
Got to wonder if they saw something there. They might have been jumping those inside underneath routes.
2-point conversion. Jensen in the slot. Looking for Jensen. No, Hodgson. Hodgson goes up above her defender. And did I see a signal go up there?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's 2 points. I wasn't sure if she was short on that.
Yep,
but there it is.
Signal.
There it is. 2 points. And with that, the Stingrays not only draw level, but take a 2-point lead thanks to Ms. Riley Hodgson.
She's in everything at the moment. I mean, she set them up with that great kick return to start with, and then scores a touchdown and the 2 points.
That drive was all Riley. Kick return, long reception, and 2-point conversion. I thought that was actually going to Jensen there. They kind of ran into the same area there.
Yeah.
13 and 14, but no harm done. Came away with 2 points. 8-6, only minutes into the third quarter. And now, on top of all that, she's going to kick off as well, Riley.
A couple of dangerous returners back there for the Thunder as well. You're sort of picking your poison there as to who you're going to kick to, because both of these guys, if you give them a little bit of room, they're going to make you pay.
Yep, Marty Totoa, who had a good return to open the game, and of course, Hayley Peterson. We're all pretty aware of how damaging she can be with a bit of space.
Well, she was one missed tackle away from returning that interception earlier.
Long run up here from Riley Hodgson. And then she's going to drill along the ground, probably in an endeavor to keep it away from them. But it's in the hands of Toa. And Toa is forced out of bounds. Ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, good special teams there from the Rays. And back on the field comes Ewers in her offense.
This is a smart strategy going the squib kick when you've got two dangerous return people back like that. By keeping it on the ground, obviously the bounce is highly unpredictable. It might ricochet off someone, it might create an opportunity for a turnover, but also keeps the returners on their heels. So it makes it harder for them to get.
It is interesting. You know, you'd think that the kicking game in all of GQ, not just the women's division or the Colts division, you think it's underdeveloped because we don't have those long arcing kicks. But I swear, whenever that actually happens in Gridiron, Queensland, that's just a perfect opportunity for the kick returns to happen, as that's another catch there to Cubis, that slant over the middle, mirroring Cody Fuller from the Stingrays there. That moves the chains, first down.
Interesting, during the break, Kenny was saying that you're surprised they didn't go to Cubis a little bit more. First play that they're on offense.
They remedy that.
Made that adjustment.
First down, 10. It's Liz Patu out running back. Under pressure is Ewers. Has to throw off her back foot. Pass intended there for Sunshine Lawrenson.
Sort of things you'd like to see as a coach where, you know, pressure doesn't have to necessarily make the hit and doesn't have to get the sack, but just the getting into their face, getting into the QB space, you know, forces them to either step up like we saw Amanda have to do just before halftime, or in that situation rush the throw, which then, you know, ultimately ends up incomplete. Yeah,
more on that after this play. 2nd and 10. 8-6 the score in favour of the Gold Coast Stingrays. Speed option. Keeper here from Ewers. Ewers finds some space on the other side of the field. Stiff arm there to O'Connor, and she takes this down to the Stingrays 22. Check that. A little generous there. Maybe the... Nope, it might have been on the money.
No, 25, nope, isn't it?
25, there we go. Trying to give her an extra 3 yards. You can thank me later there, Amanda. But, yeah, no, it's interesting about pressures. Nowadays, with pass rushes, they don't just count sacks. They count quarterback hits, they quarterback pressures. Because as long as you're affecting the quarterback, especially in today's day where they get them out real quick, a la Ewers right there, attempted to get it to Lawrenson over her head. Incomplete, 2nd down. Yeah, provided you can just disrupt a pass, that's where you're making your money.
I think they've identified at half-time there a matchup they like on the rookie O'Connor, because that's the 3rd time they've thrown that route on the same corner. So the first one was to Cubis when she was lined up on her. Cubis is now over on this side with Hodgson's over her, and so they've gone twice again that side. So that's really a matchup they've seen at half-time they like.
Well, to us, all Australian players on the near side of your screen, and... Ooh. Taken down, welcome back, Aroa Tulloch. Taking down Ewers for a sack.
Always good for the spirit of the defence, one of those. Now we create a 3rd and a long way, which coaches always love. Means that the offence becomes a little bit more one-dimension in what they can do. It also gets the tails up of the defence as well. Exactly
right, especially a big sack like that, bringing up 3rd and long. We got 3rd and 20 in the books right now. Thunder chasing 2 points here midway through the 3rd. Ewers, they'll try to make back some yardage here. Pitches out to Patu very late. Patu's got space. She's got too much space. Enough, in fact, to take this for a touchdown. No flags on the field. The Thunder, they've answered back on the ensuing drive. On the replay here, how late was this pitch, Coach?
Look, it's great patience there by Amanda, but also great discipline by Patu to stay with her, because, you know, the idea of the speed option there is to create that distance, give a matchup or issue for the defence. There's no rule saying that the pitch has to be made at the line.
Exactly right.
If you get space downfield like that, where you can make the pitch, is when you can finally get a defender to bite to you. Hey, more power to you. That's a great play there, both by the quarterback and the running back.
It said something I love there for Patu to keep that pitch relationship, that quarterback and pitch relationship. As we take another look here, look at this. She holds off, and this is definitely a rugby union background kick. And just staying behind. All Australians should be able to do that. Just stay behind there. I think ideally, I think if you're a coach's pet, you probably want to see Ewers make that pitch with her left hand. But it got the job done.
The crossbody right-handed pass is probably not ideal from a technical point of view, but hey, in that situation, you'll take it.
He'll take it.
But as you said, that maintaining that pitch relationship so far downfield is just something we don't see a lot of, because once you get past the line of scrimmage and we see that sort of downhill type stuff, usually the running back will break off and either try and get ahead to lead block or something like that. So it's good discipline, good patience, and they've been rewarded for it.
Pat White, West Virginia, he used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy with just taking the yardage if his pitchman was taken away. He would keep a heads up and he would pitch late if he needed to. Got away with it so often.
Pat White and Steve Sladen, wasn't it?
Yep.
That's the backfield duo there.
That's what led him to being drafted in early rounds to the Miami Dolphins a good couple of years ago.
That didn't quite work out so well. But
yeah, trying to hero him up there. Always a realist there. Adam Bolton.
Shout out to all the Dolphins fans watching.
Oh, 2-point conversion. Thunder with a long touchdown there to Liz Patu.
You'd almost get the same play again here, wouldn't you?
Almost. That's Elizabeth Ulale checked in at left slot. Over the middle, looking for Cubis. Again, that's the same play they tried to run on their last 2-point conversion attempt. Fortunately, no one hurt on this play. Incomplete. Score will remain 12-8.
Still trying to pick on O'Connor there. She did well to maintain her position there. But also, I just think it's dangerous if you start throwing that short slant across like that on a 2-point conversion with Thurston back there at safety. She's way too experienced for that to come off too often.
And let's see if they go back to that, but still a very impressive play. That's one worthy of the highlight reels.
Oh, absolutely.
So, as quick as they got that lead, the Stingrays, is as quick as they lost it. 12-8. As we see some of the men's Thunder players rolling through. I see Tommy Corwin.
Thought he was too old to play this year.
I thought so too. I thought he was too old to run, and watch him run, watch him put on my running clinic later on today.
Did mention to me during the week, he's got a few packages up his sleeve today that he's put together just for the Stingrays, so that'll be interesting to see what it is.
He's got a couple of packages under that Under Armour of his, mate.
Bit of protection.
He has become a dad over the off-season, so a little bit of that dad weight coming on. Pot kettle black Kenny Andres.
Also a couple of Stingrays defenders who have moved from secondary to linebacker this year, who also are recent fathers who may also claim the same thing, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, Reese Perkins, I look forward to hearing that. As that kick is kicked down to the throat of Riley Hodgson. Cut him back.
Wow.
Gee, she's patient. She's found some space now.
There.
It's her versus Floridas. She stands up Floridas. Floridas is in pursuit, but this time that's her best return of the day. She takes this into Thunder territory. It looks like they'll mark this at the Thunder 35.
And what we saw there with the kick going on the full to Hodgson almost supports exactly what we said before about the squib kick trying to, slow down those returners. Riley being able to get the ball on the full there just gave her a good running start. Gave her blockers less time. They had to maintain their blocks so she could get around the corner there. And realistically, she was just one wrong step away from taking that one the distance.
I think it's interesting. Speaking from my own experience, when you're practicing kick return, for whatever reason, we always tended to practice them against perfect kicks, only to come out to have 3 or 4 of our kickoffs squibbed. So check that logic out.
You must have had some good kickers.
Yeah, I wish they could kick like that during the game. First down and 10. Again, dual protection in the backfield, but they'll give it to Henry. Henry's got some space towards the right-hand side of the field. She turns it upfield, runs over a couple of players, plenty of Thunder players in her wake. And that'll be a great run on first down and picked up, well, it looks like possibly close to 9 yards.
Starting to see now in the second half, those outside runs are starting to find a few more yards than what we're seeing early in the first half.
Check that. Make that 10 yards. First down. So first down and 10. Let's see if the experience of Evans comes through here. Last 2 trips down here have led into turnovers. Handoff to Tulloch. Tulloch has got Laura Newell on her immediately, and Newell comes up with a big play.
And Newell got off that block really well there. Decent position by the O-lineman, just being able to get separation, gets off the block, grabs the tackle, sticks it, Absolutely textbook.
Newell proving that she's continuing her improvement. A rookie last year, probably amongst the youngest players on the Thunder, I believe. Last year, I think she was 18, maybe turning 19. And back for another year. She said she fell in love with it. Coming down, was here as a student at Griffith University, found the sport, and here she is for year number 2.
Making plays like that, you'd think she's been playing for a lot longer than just one season.
You'd think so. Second down and long, ball on the Thunder 30. Evans looking for Fuller, tight coverage, and incomplete. Liana Floridis on Fuller there.
I like this two-back system that the Rays are coming out with here. Just providing out a little bit of extra help on the edge rush there, giving Lauren a bit more time. Good coverage there on that play, but that's the sort of matchup Lauren wants to see, that one-on-one stuff across the middle or down the sidelines.
Probably shows the faith in some of their outside wide receivers that has certainly earned the ability to try to beat them one-on-one. Yet to see Cody Fuller on anything more than really a slant at the moment, though. Jensen, right slot, inside Hodgson. Evans looking towards Hodgson. Hodgson's got a shake on a defender, but Evans can't quite flip her hips and get that pass to a girl, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
It's always tricky in this situation, fourth and long, particularly heading into the end zone like this. Makes it very easy for the defense. So as the offense, it's actually quite difficult in terms of play calling. You almost have to get a little bit creative or think outside the box, because the defense have got plenty of room. They can afford to just keep you in front of you. If you want to complete an 8-yard pass, great, they'll let you have that. So yeah, you do have to get a little bit creative with what you go to in the playbook here.
I'll say something that Lauren used to do very well, and haven't seen too much of it this game, is run the 4 verticals concept, where Henry, especially when she had a taller receiver and Henry on the inside, she'd run it very well down this seam. This time it's Jensen in that slot, but she's got 2 in the backfield, so not quite the same formation she used to run it out of. Protection, they'll dump it, and oh wow, talk about getting lost in the sun there. That pitch didn't go anywhere near Henry, and Henry was blinded immediately, had no idea that the ball was actually at her feet, and that was a backward pass, counting as a fumble. Turnover on the downs. Regardless, so that's 3 trips inside the 30 that the Stingrays haven't been able to cash in.
Something I'll certainly look at in film this week is, it hasn't been a case of the offense hasn't rolled or hasn't been able to move the ball. They have. It's just has seemed to have stalled as they approach the red zone, or, we've seen now essentially 3 turnovers, 1 on downs and 2 from interceptions. There are areas of the game you can tidy up a bit heading into the back half of the season.
Yeah, and it's also something that, tightens up as the season goes on. But the Stingrays' lone touchdown right now coming from a longer pass earlier, just outside the 30, in fact, to Riley Hodgson. On first down, the nice footwork there from Yana Floridis.
Great run there. Good way to keep her feet moving, step out of that tackle and gain the extra yardage.
Bringing up a 2nd down, 8-12. The Stingrays trailing the Thunder here towards the back end of the 3rd quarter.
I think the point you made about the Stingrays' lone score coming from that seam pass to Hodgson, haven't seen a lot of the deep ball from them. Other than that, maybe they're going to start going back to that and try and test that a bit further.
What possibly? Let's see how they go. Ewers will hand this off. No play action pass. Low pass. Caught well from Cubis. Had to get down low, and that's not always easy for a woman standing at 6'2" and change.
There's a great fake there by Ewers and the running back. Really sold that quite well, and then that opened up a fantastic passing lane for her to hit Cubis in that slant.
What's interesting, they're both teams running these slants so much their targeted receiver. Imagine a wheel route coming out towards the back end. Just with, it's bound to happen by one of these 2 teams here in the 4th quarter. Oh, a bobbled snap. Henry in pursuit. Ewers has to run. She beats the first sack and will do enough to get that back to the line of scrimmage. In fact, maybe gain half a yard. That'll make it 3rd and inches instead of 3rd and 1.
Way to make something out of nothing there. That could have been a disaster and really set them back. Now, as you said, with 3rd and 1, gives you plenty of options what you can run here, whereas, that was potentially a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 situation.
And Check that. That was, in fact, third down. It's fourth down now. Fourth and a yard. 8-12. The Stingrays 8. Thunder leading with 12 points. As we see a timeout being taken here. Thunder timeout?
Yeah, Thunder timeout.
Thunder timeout as they mull over their play to possibly go for it here. They are 6 yards short of halfway. Keeping in mind, of course, the fields on most of Gridiron Queensland's fields are a little bit shorter than usual. It's actually 90 yards, not 100, as they take 5 yards out from either side of halfway. So you'll see it go from 40 to what would be the 45 for both teams is actually halfway. But I think the one exception this year is Logan City.
Yeah, they've got the full field now.
Have got the full field, 10-yard end zones and all.
You should see what they do here. It looks like they might be punting.
Oh, mate, that's Gianna Floridis. Looks like... No, I think that's... Ewer's still taking the snap. They're going for it on 4th and short. And it'll be a keeper design keeper. Oh, this will be close. I think the Stingrays have done it. No whistles, though. And that
was a fumble.
Ball got popped out by Ewers and recovered by the Stingrays. In any case, I think this is a turnover, and we got players down. Ewers is down. And we would have just seen the play on there. Ewers getting taken down by the bootstraps there.
Those sort of tackles, if a player stays down, that's not what you want to see. Looks like she wants to walk off under her own power. That's always a good sign.
She's another one of those tough ones, just coming off there. Assistant coach and partner, Kelhausen, is going to meet her halfway. And it looks like we're going to see a possible new QB next offensive drive for the Thunder. In the meantime, it is a turnover, whether it be by the fumble or the turnover on downs. The Stingrays coming onto the field.
Looks like they're giving them the spot from the fumble.
So first down and 10 Stingrays. Ball on the Thunder 39. Another opportunity here for the Stingrays to reclaim the lead once more. Had a 2-point lead briefly in the third quarter, I should say, earlier in the third.
When you get the ball back in this sort of area as a result of a turnover, you really do have to make the other team pay for that.
Well, they've moved.
Hodgins, back to their 2x2.
Yeah, and Hodgins moved back to the outside. Jensen inside her. Looking for over the middle. The pass was intended to number 17, the rookie Jessica Norcliffe. Falls off her shoulder, though, incomplete. Her first target of the day.
Right idea. She had the separation. You know, was thrown back shoulder, just couldn't quite adjust for it. Thought that they might have been, with that going back to that 2x2, they might have been taking a shot, particularly when you noticed that Hodgson was back outside. Thought they might have been looking deep on that one.
On 2nd and 10. Stingrays chasing 12 points, and they've caught him offside. Another free play, going over the middle, looking for Fuller, and they'll get 5 yards for the penalty on the incomplete pass.
Again, good awareness there by the centre to get the ball snapped and take that free shot. Well, almost looks like from that they just ran their normal play.
Yeah, no, normal. I think that's probably the next stage in progression there is the receivers recognising it and then just going downfield.
But, you know, receivers know the snap count. They're looking down the line, so they see them jump and see the ball go early. You know, you normally just, as you said, go the full vert concept and yeah, take your shot. Yeah,
Ben Stokes, Mitchell Bessie did that quite a few times last year, and then actually probably the team, the little duo I remember doing it the most is Malloy and Riles years ago.
I had no idea back then too.
Yeah, that's what I hear. No idea who he is, but he goes all right. No idea what he's doing nowadays.
Probably was due to hang him up.
Something to say about going a year too long. They say you're better off going a year too short. 2nd down and 5. Evans hands off to Henry. Henry's got some room to move with blocks in front. Has to cut back, and Batu is sticking on her. White on Rice.
Yeah, that was great pursuit there in order to rein her in. Because like that tackle doesn't stick, she's gone. She was through the secondary.
And that'll bring up 3rd down, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter. So these two teams will take a walk down to the other side of the field, swapping sides for the last time today as we enter the final quarter of the day, where the Thunder lead the Stingrays at 12 points to 8 here at Griffith University on their Nathan campus, home of the Thunder. Week 3 action, Gridiron, Queensland, being brought to you by live streaming Brisbane. Kenny Andres and Adam Bolton on the call, mate. 4th quarter, one team trailing by 4 points. What do you see?
Look, the game's been close like I think we thought it was going to be. Score-wise, I thought it might have been higher scoring. But that being said, both teams have had their opportunities and haven't converted them. So the game's pretty gone as we've expected. I think from the Thunder's perspective, I mean, they'll get back on offense. They're just going to run the football and try and drain the clock out. From the Stingrays' perspective, they're going to have to start digging into the playbook and start taking some shots.
Indeed, they will. 3rd down and 10 now. Sorry, 3rd and short, I should say. Lollipop on the other side now. Evans in her green boots. Again, flanked by Henry and I think Tulloch. Nope, not. That's the 10 in. Is that Briscoe now?
Yeah, Briscoe's out there.
They caught her. No flags out. Nope, they're going to call this.
Oh, wow.
Call that to go offside. Henry is chased and hit hard behind the line of scrimmage. I think that is Jess Simonte making the play on that play, coming back to the sport after a year or two off. Again, Liz Batu forcing her to the outside, as you saw on replay there.
I think Liz is down at the moment too. Made a vicious hit at the end of that play.
Well, I think she might have copped the friendly fire there of Simonte.
Yeah, okay.
Simonte actually lays the lick, and I think Liz Batu might have enjoyed some of that force. In case, it'll be 4th down now after that 3rd and short stop. And we might take a look at that one more time. See, far side of the screen. Questionable call on the lack of offside, but the call's been made. And then, yeah, you see Liz Batu get tangled up at the end there. I think, if anything, it might be a lower body injury, and that's what they're looking at now, I think, the ankle. I think her feet got tangled up with that of both Henry and Simonte.
Could be a massive blow to the Thunder team if she's to miss any extended time, or even for the end of this game if she can't return. Certainly for the defense, because she's been the enforcer there and done such a great job in contain and in pursuit all day. With the game as close as it is, that could be a real game changer.
And it's having a slowed replay down here, and see if we can get any more. There you see Patu. Yeah, it's pretty inconspicuous, but you can see maybe a bit of rotation in the ankle.
She's walking off, so that's a good sign.
Walking off without too much of a limp, so maybe a bit of ice, a bit of the magic sponge.
Yeah, a bit of strapping tape.
She'll be right.
A bit of spatting, you'll be right.
Of course, not just this sport that Liz is concerned about. Rugby Nines and Australian Rugby Union representative. Used to playing an international competition. She's getting treatment right in front of us at the broadcast booth as we speak. 4th down now, and it'll be a very interesting decision to make here for the Gold Coast Stingrays.
You said just watching it down here in front of us, seems to be jogging on it okay at the moment.
Cody Fuller, near side wide receiver, matched up with Floridis. In motion was Hodgson, and they give it to her on the end around. But Floridis has done a good job to beat Fuller, but enough speed gets her enough for the 1st down. Converted there from the Stingrays.
Gutsy call on 4th down.
Well, you said they needed to dig deep into the playbook, and that's exactly what they did. Whipped out an end around there to Riley Hodgson.
Got a key block on that play as well. You know, edge contain came off. Tyler got in her way, sprung Hodgson around the corner, and then she was just able to foot race to get the first down.
A great conversion there on 4th down, keeping this drive alive. Ball on the 25. Jensen in this right slot, but it'll be given to Tulloch. Tulloch has to go backward to try to go forward, and the Thunder, they'll happily accommodate that. They take her down behind the line. That's a loss of 1.5.
Well contained there by the Thunder. They weren't getting fooled by that read at all.
Both teams really forcing. I thought really it was by decision, but really when you look at some of these runs, it's both defenses forcing these runs to go wide.
Yeah, but they're containing them well. You know, making them go east-west, which, you know, as an offensive coach, you never want to see that in the run game too often. You know, occasionally it plays out well for you, but the analytics tell you that, you know, if you're going east-west, that's probably not ideal.
Worked out all right for Barry Sanders.
True.
a lot of things worked out for Barry Sanders, to be fair.
No, very true. So yeah, so I think in that situation there with that play, like, you know, it looks like it was a read option there, but we really haven't seen Evans run the ball much today. So it's one of those things where, as a defense, you know, if you haven't seen it or it hasn't been a threat, do you really need to account for it? Or, you know, you might just have a backside contain going, well, if she takes off with it, we've got it covered. Otherwise, we're just going to flow to the ball carrier.
Oh, you did mention that she might have been carrying a bit of a lingering lower leg injury of some sort into this game, and whilst we haven't probably noticed it explicitly, the type of play calling might suggest there's some truth to that.
Tend to agree. I think also having the two backs in to, you know, shore up that pocket so she doesn't have to get mobile as much could be something to do with it, or it could just purely be, you know, the Thunder defensive ends have been doing a great job today and paying some respect to that.
Fuller, Jensen, and now Riley Hodgson making up the receiving court on the left-hand side. Hodgson at tight end. And Henry, up the middle she goes, and there's a bit of north-south running for you. And that'll pick up, maybe 4 yards by run's end. 3rd down now and 8.
I don't mind that play call there. Gets a decent chunk of yards. They're probably not looking for it, to be honest, at this stage of the game, being the 4th quarter and the fact that they're behind. Gets you back into that sort of, you know, the 3rd and 8 situation where, you know, it's not quite as predictable for the defense.
And let's face it as well, this is 2 down territory in our league. So you treat that as a 2nd down there, and you're just trying to make yardage back. 3rd down now, 8 yards to go. Stingrays trying to catch 4 points. We'll be back to Henry, and a straight give again. Sees them gaining up a few more yards, and now they've got a 4th and short. And now we've got another Stingray down, and it's Henry. Henry down. Only just... For those who are still in on the stream there, have been patiently waiting. The Ambulance visit for Amy Henry is an extended one, and due to time conditions, this game has to be called here. So this victory will go to the Griffith University Thunder, 12 points to 8. A load of camera cross there. So this game will be called early because the men's game still needs to kick off at 5:30. So due to time restraints, this game has been called in the middle of the 4th quarter. An unfortunate injury to Amy Henry sees her in an ambulance, and that's unfortunately delayed this game beyond play. So the game ceases, and the Thunder will take away the 12-8 victory here in week 3. We'll cut the stream for now, and then at 5:30 we'll be bringing you the men's game between the same teams, the Griffith University Thunder against the Gold Coast.